I'll never forget the first catered event I worked for my dad. And this is a picture of my dad. If you can't tell by the gold lame cummerbund, it was taken in the 80s. And we like to give him a hard time, the dad. Now we put the kale in the bowl and serve it to people instead of just using it for decor. I was 12 years old, and he dresses me up in one of those tuxedo shirt bow tie combos, the kind you get at the craft store. They're so thin you can basically see through. And he takes me to this event, and he puts me at the busing station, and he shows me where to scrape the plates and where to put the silverware and where to put the plates. And he goes off to tend to the event. And most of the people there didn't even know who I was, and those who did barely recognized that I was even there. So I had this perfect bird's eye view of what the behind the scenes looked like at a catered event. And I got to be honest, what I saw was really, really scary. The first thing was one of the servers comes running back. She's a young girl, and she's crying because my dad's just yelled at her about something. Next, the captain of the event walks out telling my dad to F off after they got in an argument. And then the two of the chefs get in a fist fight after plate up over who was supposed to clean up the kitchen. And so when I'm looking at this, and as a 12-year-old boy, just like in awe. And the thing was, the guests and the client didn't even know any of this was happening because my dad is a consummate host. He's a hospitality professional and brilliant when it comes to being able to serve people and work a room and make magic happen. But that evening left me wondering, did we really have to go through all of that to get that result? And who would really want to work in that kind of environment? I was very fortunate that I had another experience shortly thereafter where my dad gave me and a couple of my friends the opportunity to do a micro business, if you will. We had the concession contract to cater the parade of homes. And so it was a 30-day contract where we would have the opportunity to serve all kinds of people that would come through, thousands of people over the course of this term. And when we were, in high school, he started to give us more and more responsibility and told us, you got 20% for the labor costs, 25% for food costs, anything under that you guys get to keep. And so the first few years, we had no idea what we're doing. But after a couple years, we had it really dialed in. We knew exactly what a piece of deli paper cost, the slice of tomato, the piece of lettuce. And we couldn't pay people a whole lot of money, so we hired all of our friends. And we really wanted to create this fun environment and place to work. So we let people wear these Hawaiian shirts that you see here. We had the mullet count in the back, so anytime somebody would come up with a mullet, it would be a 1090 alert, and somebody would make a check mark there. We had the bell that you rang anytime that the order was up. And there was one specific day, I was working the grill, it was hot, I was sweating, my face is covered in grease, and there's 5 registers, and there's 10 people deep at every single register, and time stood still for just a minute for me, and I looked up, and it was like this beautiful symphony that was happening for these 15 teenage kids that are just working in harmony to get all these orders out. The food's flying out, the drinks are flying out, and if you would have walked up to that stand, I think you would have been in awe by what you saw and the efficiency that was taking place. And it was at that moment that I realized that fun and productivity could go hand in hand, and that effectively, when people are having fun, they're actually more efficient and they're more productive. Fast forward a few years, I vowed never to follow my father's footsteps and go into catering. But that changed when I met my wife, who is a brilliant, brilliant woman. And the thing that changed was for me, to Luke's point earlier, there were parts of the catering business that weren't for me, that I wasn't great at. And partnering with her allowed me to partner with somebody who was brilliant at the operations and logistics side of making sure that our events would be successful. And it allowed me to do the things that I'm passionate about. I love leading teams. I love thinking about strategy. How do we recruit people to come be part of what we're doing? How do we help them grow and give them the tools they need to be successful? Those are the things that fire me up and get me excited. So when we partnered together, it really worked in the big picture of where we could take the company. When we bought the business from my dad in 2010, we also both agreed that creating a great place to work was the most important thing for us to focus on. More important than being the biggest catering company in Denver or winning awards, we just wanted to be a great place to work. And so we knew that had to start with our people. And we had, previously, we didn't have a mission statement, we didn't have values, those weren't things that my dad focused on. And we asked all of our team members, why do you work at Footers? What's important to you? What are the things that get you fired up and excited? And that came down, distilled to 3 points that just kept resonating and kept coming back and coming back. And so instead of crafting a scripty, beautifully worded mission statement, we came up with the 3-bullet mission statement that I can tell you every single person on our team knows what that mission statement is, and it embodies who we are. Love what you do, make it better every day, and create exceptional experiences for our clients and their guests. And that's something that isn't just on our wall, you can see it here. It's something that we actually live by every single day. We talk about, we bring that up, and it's really who we are as a company. We've been able to transform what Footers was from when my dad had it to where it is now, and we feel incredibly fortunate that our team has been the reason that that's happened. But I can also look back on 4 convictions that we have embodied that have made us successful, and I'm going to share those with you today. They're lead, love, mibe, and tribe. The first one is lead. Value people for more than the job they do. See, I don't think when we come to work, we open the door and personal Anthony stays on the outside and professional Anthony is here and ready for work. I just don't think that happens. If my personal life is in shambles, it's going to impact how I show up at work. And if I'm struggling at work, it's going to impact my personal life. We heard from Mary earlier, perfect example of that. And so we've tried to throw out this separation between work life and home life, and let's just blend it and look at the person as a whole, and let's respond to what their needs are every single day. It's not about slacking off or not getting the job done. We have to show up and we have to make sure that we're responsible for what we have committed to. But there's certain times where we're going to need to focus more on our personal life, and if we have the flexibility to do that, then we're going to make that happen. The other piece of this is that recognition is something that I think is incredibly underrated. There's recent studies that have been done. 77% of employees say that they would work harder with more recognition, and yet 39% of employees say they don't receive enough recognition at work. Recognition doesn't cost money, it's free. It's something that we can all tap into as business leaders, and yet many of us don't do it enough. Our formal program is called our Jimmy Buck program, pays tribute to my dad, Jimmy. And this program has been modified so much over the past 5 to 8 years, it's incredible. Anyone can give anyone else a Jimmy Buck. It just has to be specific. They all get approved by me, and it has to pertain to one of our core values. And so we get incredible things that people fill out, like, somebody fixed a flat tire for a client after an event, they came out. Like, that's not a caterer's job, but one of our team members stepped up to do that. One of our chefs ran down and chased down the ice cream truck who had their music blaring while a ceremony was about to start, to have them shut off their music so that it wouldn't impact the ceremony. Again, those aren't things that you expect the caterer to do, but those are things because our team understands that we're here to create an experience. That's part of their responsibility. So once they get their Jimmy Bucks, we're adamant about these being given out in a formal setting. So, Tuesdays, we do lunch every day for our team, and during that time, we give out these Jimmy Bucks because we want everybody to understand what are people doing that's awesome, and how is that embodying what our core values are, and what are the activities that we want to see more of. And then they can use their Jimmy Bucks in the swag store to get hats and jackets and all kinds of cool stuff that they come up with and they ask for. This also translates, we have our annual Core Value Awards. We have an acronym called FAB Tigers: fun, awesomeness, balance, teamwork, innovation, growth, ethics, respect, and service, to remember our 9 core values. And again, I will tell you, if you ask any of my team members, what are the core values at Footers, they will tell them to you. If they don't, $20 on me, come find me. But we have an annual celebration where we give out the Tiger Trophy. So this is ingrained all throughout the year, and it culminates in this celebration where we give an award out for each of our 9 core values. Our second conviction is love. Open yourself to be authentic, genuine, and vulnerable. And here's the thing about being authentic and genuine. Most people think I have to show up and I have to share my deepest and darkest secrets. And that's not what vulnerability is. Vulnerability is showing up and being able to say, I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything, but I'm willing to come to battle and open and be honest about where I'm at and be honest when I'm wrong. And when I personally have done that as a leader, I've made so much more progress with my team than the times where I've been tried to have all the answers. We have so much pressure on ourselves as leaders to know what the right answer is, to say the right thing. And there's certain times where let's release the pressure from that and let's open ourselves up to being with our team to be able to achieve some of those things. It was a few years ago 5 years ago to be exact, our team came to us and said, Anthony, April, will you organize a vacation for us? And we said, what are you talking about? And they said, well, no, we just, we'll pay for it. We just want you to organize it. And I said, what are you talking about? You don't spend enough time together at work? You actually want to go on vacation together? Yeah, we want to do that. So we found a ridiculous deal, round trip, airfare, all-inclusive resort, Cabo, and 20 people sign up. And the day before, my wife and I are looking at each other like, man, this is either the worst idea we've ever had or it could be the best. Fast forward 4 days later, and it was the best idea we'd ever had. I've never seen organic team building take place, and it's something that we could not have manufactured in any other way. And so for us to be able to do that was an incredible gift. I don't recommend it to all companies. I tell other companies, take inspiration from the reasons we do things and figure out what works for you. We took a year off last year, obviously due to COVID, but 2 years ago we had over 40 people go to Puerto Vallarta, and it's one of the special things that have happened. But these are the things that happen. The second story I want to tell is about one of our team members who it was awesome, hard worker, but really struggling in her job. And she just wasn't performing. And I think in most cases, those people tend to find the exit. We fire them, we get rid of them because they just can't do the job. And we have a philosophy at Footers. Our feeling is that if you're really great at A and B, but not C, then we need to take C off your plate and we need to add D to your plate and your responsibilities. And so we worked with her on what her strengths are. We shifted that around and we put her in a position, and I'm happy to say that 12 years later, she is one of the senior leaders on our team. She's a rock star and thriving. But it took us coming to the table and saying, you know what, I think we have you in the wrong spot, and it's our responsibility to put you in a spot where you're going to thrive. And I tell this story because, not just because she's been successful, but it also led to one of the biggest honors of my life when her and her then fiance asked me to officiate their wedding. That I'm not an ordained minister, I'm not an officiant, I've never officiated a wedding before, but the fact that they had the trust in me to preside over this special day in their life was just one of the most humbling experiences, and to me showed that what we're doing right now is beyond just work at Footers. This is what we're doing and how we're impacting people's lives. The next conviction is MIBE. MIBE is the acronym for the middle part of our mission statement, make it better every day. Our team came up with that acronym. So if you come around our facility, you'll hear people saying, that's a good MIBE, and hey, you're MIBEing that. And it's really taken off into a life of its own. But what this embodies for us is that there's always room to improve and more to learn. And when we come to work with the ability to say, I want to make things better, I don't have all the answers and I want to improve this, we inspire those around us. And I watch our team, when they do cool stuff, other people respond and say, that's awesome, I need to uphold my end of the bargain and do a great job and improve my job and what my responsibilities are. We have a lot of fun. We have our lip sync battle, we have our Summer Olympics, I mentioned the vacation, but at the end of the day, we are so proud that we execute some large and logistically complex events, and that's what our team is brilliant at. Plated dinners for 1,000 people. This was a sales conference that we did for over 2,200 people. It was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we fed them 2 days in a row, over 15,000 meals, and our team figured out how to make that happen and the complexities that go into field kitchens and how we make sure we cook food fresh on site and delivering an incredible experience. So while we have a lot of fun at work, what really drives us is the work that we do and the impact we have and the pride we take in making sure that everything we produce is awesome and creates that exceptional experience. Our final conviction is tribe. Work doesn't have to suck. Surround yourself with a kick-ass team. I think we all have to take responsibility, regardless of whether we're managers or we have hiring or firing responsibilities. At work, if there's somebody that doesn't fit within the culture, we all have the responsibility to bring that to somebody's attention and make sure that that gets fixed. Too many times we allow people that are cancerous to our teams to live for too long, and we make excuses because they're great performers, or we make excuses because we don't know how we could replace them. And at the end of the day, we have to take it seriously that we have a responsibility to ourselves and the rest of our team to make sure that we are putting great people together that can do incredible work. We've been incredibly fortunate to win some awesome awards. We never set out to do that, but to be named one of the best, it was the best caterer in the West, and by numerous publications, one of the best places to work, has been an incredible honor for us. But again, not what we set out to do or why we set out to do this. Why we set out to do this is to provide opportunities for our team to grow and thrive. And I'm happy to announce that within the next 2 weeks, we'll be moving into our new facility. So COVID has obviously wreaked havoc on our business. There's not many catered events going on right now. And so it's been a very challenging time for us and what we've gone through. But at the end of the day, we honestly believe that human nature wants us to gather, that we will come back and we'll come back stronger than ever, and there'll be a demand to gather at weddings and fundraisers and corporate events and persevere. And so with that in mind, we gathered with our team, and because of the strength of our team, we had the opportunity to say, all right, let's go play offense. Right now, if we can make it through this, what is it going to look like? And so we are going to be moving into our new facility. It's 40,000 square feet. We'll include an event center, which is something we've never had before, that we'll be able to do plated dinners for 500 people and cocktail events for 1,200 people. So in this time of COVID, where our industry as a whole has been wrecked, we're looking at how we create opportunities for the future, for our team. How do we give them new challenges? Because at some point, after you've done a job for, we have people that have been with us for 15 years, 12 years, 8 years, at some point they outgrow what your capacity is. And so for us, we want to keep chasing new opportunities so that those can continue to grow and we can backfill behind them. Our other company is called Mibe Tribe, our sister company, again, with the intent of not only growing our own team, but growing other people. And this, we really focus on heart leadership and intentional culture building education for the hospitality industry. We're proof that we know what can be accomplished through heart leadership and creating an awesome place to work. And we're on a mission to share that with a lot of other people so we can inspire them to find more joy and fulfillment, not only in their work, but also in their lives. I honestly believe that we all have the power to be great leaders. Alexander Den Heijer said, when a flower doesn't bloom, we fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. If we think about how to lead, value people for more than the job they do, love, open ourselves to be authentic, genuine, and vulnerable, Mibe, remember that there's always room to grow and more that we can learn, and Tribe, surround ourselves with a kick-ass team and have some fun along the way, I believe we all can create incredible environments where the people around us thrive. Thank you so much for your time. And Greg, it's been such an honor to be here today. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anthony, 30 years in the hospitality industry. I've heard some of the best speak, and I will tell you that if anyone in the hospitality industry is listening on how to lead and how to put team together and be joyful about it, you're it. What you and April have created in the culture of Footers is off the charts.
Thank you.
When Ed recommended that I invite you to speak, and you and I have gotten to know each other, your pure joy for other human beings is what leaders need to see as what they could do. There's way too many important people in some of these industries who can't get over themselves. I want, if you're watching, if you didn't see this as an example on where vulnerability and humility and courage meet. By the way, Brene Brown could not be here today. I'm sorry. Brene, if you're listening, I invite you to join us next year. Simon Sinek, you too. What you said, though, about vulnerability is not weakness. It's powerful. Yeah. It's where vulnerability and courage meet. And it's see me for who I am and bring your courage as well. And you embody that. And again, if there's anything you want to share to the, again, I keep saying this because I know there's a lot of youth out there that are thinking, what about me? How do they seek a team that's like Footers? And how do they believe in themselves to a point where someone else sees that belief? What do you say to them?
Yeah, there's a couple of things there. One of the things I talk about all the time is I want candidates that are interviewing me as much as we're interviewing them. Beautiful. So if you're looking to go get a job, so many times we get in that first job and we sit there and we're like, okay, I just got to say all the right things and I got to do it. No, I want somebody that's coming in and scrutinizing what we do and asking questions about what the environment is going to be like if they come to work for us. So don't be afraid to ask those questions and find out, is this a culture I want to be part of? Ask those hard questions. What's the management style like? What are the people like? What's the worst thing about working here? Right. I want to know those. I want somebody that wants to know those answers. Yeah. In terms of, I had a crazy journey to get to catering, but it wasn't until I saw it through a different lens. And I stopped seeing myself as a caterer, and I started seeing myself as a coach.
Sure.
And so while catering is our vehicle, my passion is all about, like I said, bringing the team together and giving them the tools they need to be successful. And so I think too many times young leaders get pigeonholed into, I have to be in this industry or I have to be in this, instead of looking for what are my strengths, what am I brilliant at, what are my passions, and how do I try to align those things to be successful.
And what I also hear you say too, Anthony, is find an organization that's going to embrace your strengths, embrace your passions, and you don't have to say yes, but I love how you said, interview the person interviewing you and bring who you are and be curious. I mean, we've heard authentic, we've heard curious, we've heard kind and considerate and listen, and again, you're a great example. I want to work with you and go serve this big hospitality industry someday. Maybe you and April and I can have a glass of wine to talk about it.
Love to.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate you very much.